What's up guys, it's Flash back with some more charts and another video. Today's Tuesday, June 18th. It's 10:42 a.m. Eastern. In this video, we're going to look at another indicator that I found through the interwebs, and that is the visible, what's it called? Visible range volume profile. If we go to indicators, visible range volume profile. So this is going to show us where the majority of buying and selling is taking place. And this is ultimately going to give us confidence in a lot of these charts that I'm going to show you that we are either at support or above support, defined by all the buyers and sellers in this market. So as you can see, there's a red line here that goes, this is where the majority of the volume is taking place, right around 20 bucks for URA. And then, you can see we're right above 29.18. This is another, critical support level in terms of where a lot of the buying and selling is taking place. And you can see on the monthly, we're above it. Okay, this is confidence. This is great for us that we are above support. We can't just fly by all this support and resistance. We gotta go beyond it, become friends with it, and kind of like, if you watch these charts, if you fast forward every monthly candle, like a lot of buying and selling is taking place. We got to eat up the sellers really, and so it's going to take a while for this to kind of eat up all those sellers, make this support, and continue on this bull market. And as you can see, there's nothing. There's no volume really above where we're at. So like we just got to put our time in here. Maybe it's the summer, the remainder of the summer, who's to say? Maybe we have a great summer, but I think this is telling us we should have confidence where we're at. We're making friends with support levels, and we're just eating up all that volume to make higher highs, in my opinion, right? So if we go zoom in on the weekly, got a nice green candle forming. Again, we're above support, like right here. So this is gonna, hopefully price is just gonna suck up all these other sellers, and we're gonna keep going up this arc in this trend, in this accumulation pattern we have here. And I think ultimately we should have a lot of confidence. So I'm gonna stay on the monthly and the weekly really. And so here's CCJ. It takes a while. It takes maybe a couple seconds for the volume to load. But again, we're above what the hard part's over here, especially with CCJ. And right around 38.96 is where, we kind of made that support. So we're just going to continue up, and there's not a ton of volume up here. This is uncharted territory for CCJ, and it's really, really cool to see. We can go over to Paladin. Paladin is, looks like it's struggling a little bit with this resistance here, but it is a little bit resistance, but this is where the resistance was, like right around this congestion area, and that's why we went sideways for a year or two. We had to chomp through that. We had to eat through all those sellers. So again, Paladin's looking good. We may not hold this trend line, and we could maybe flag out here, similar to as we did back here. But again, we're above resistance and support, right? So let's look at FSY. Again, it takes a second or two to load. There is some resistance here, and look where we're at. We're right at this little peak right here, right about 96 cents. So we can zoom in on the weekly here, see where we're at. This looks like a big bull flag. That's a bull flag right at support. We're under it right now. We got to eat through these sellers and get up through support, resistance. We'll look at deep yellow. So deep yellow, I actually moved this resistance line up a little bit, right? Because I noticed that there's a lot of transactions happening here. So we just got to eat through this. Maybe we flag out here through the end of the year, honestly. It's extremely healthy. We want to build the energy. We want to eat through all these transactions and continue our march upwards, right? So let's look at Lotus. Lotus looks like it's breaking down from this trend line. But again, there's a lot of stuff underneath us that's going to hold this up. So again, we may be entering a consolidation of some sort, like that. And who's to say how long that could continue, but we can't just go up in a straight line. I know, in the monthly time frame, it takes a long time for these charts to play out. So I think we just have to have a little bit of patience. So I'm gonna go through the rest of these. Encore Energy. And all the support is underneath us, obviously. You know, I think the time to get into Encore honestly was at around 60 cents. And now we're at $6. So we could have had a 10 bagger already if we were looking at these a while back. But hey, we're still going upwards and onwards, I think. Boss Energy. Looks like we're breaking down out of this wedge. But again, support underneath us at 244. And we're kind of losing it right here at 480. This is where a lot of the transactions have taken place. But again, there's going to be some sort of consolidation, it looks like, with Boss. Okay, let's look at ISO. So I kind of marked out this, I guess, right in the middle of, you can see there's a lot of transactions happening here around 398. Again, up 480. So again, we got to be in this for the long term, guys. I don't think we can day trade this. It's too difficult. Alligator Energy. Looks like a juicy bull flag. Maybe we can move this up just a tad. But again, we're kind of breaking down underneath this. We got to fight and eat through these sellers. This resistance right here around 56, 5.5 cents. UEC. Hard part is over, guys. Hard part is over with UEC. But we still got to form, we got to have some new buyers come in and push these lines out a little bit. Get more transactions here for UEC. Next gen, momentum breakdown, entering consolidation. You know, we got to bust through $7.66. That's going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take some time for it to bust through, right? We'll look at Silex. I love the look of Silex. And again, you know, we're above, the hard part's over. We went through the hard part back here in August of 22 through December of 23. And again, this is just a vacuum. Like once we clear all this, it's smooth sailing, I think. You know, there's going to be, you know, when we look back on this stock, there's probably going to be some volume popping out up here and up here. Like this has a long way to go upwards, I think. We'll look at Centris. I've cleaned some of these charts up. I just like to keep it simple. You know, this looks like a cup handle. We're above 42.50. We're above that critical transaction line. You can look at Elevate. Again, wow, we're right on it. We are right on it. We want to hold this. We want to put in a nice, want to get a wick here on this monthly time frame. So we got some work to do with Elevate. We're right at the high transaction line. Got to keep the faith here, I think. Sky Harbor, it's been ugly. We've been bleeding out a little bit. We're below where we want to be. All it takes is some buyers to step in. Look at Laramide. What a beautiful chart. I mean, Laramide is such a beautiful chart. The hard part's not technically over, but again, we want to just eat through these buyers and sellers and find our way up this arc. MGA. Another beautiful looking chart. Where's that volume? Yep. Okay, so we're bullish falling wedge. Back-to-back bullish falling wedges. This one's smaller, but I think this looks really good. Energy Fuels, nice bullish engulfing in May. And we're right at that transaction line. We're right on it today. It's incredible. Like what an incredible opportunity, I think, right here for UUU. Global Atomic. This one's interesting, and maybe we can get some trend lines out here. You know, we have right here, looks to be some resistance. Right here, it looks to be some resistance. And then right here looks to be some resistance. So we're under that resistance right now. But again, there's a ton of support underneath us. Not a ton, but we wouldn't want to see this come down all the way here. We want to hold this trend line, hold this trend and ride it up, break through these resistances. We got to eat through these buyers and sellers. Look at Western Uranium. Beautiful shoulder, head, shoulder, looks super explosive. And look at, again, we're kind of right on that transaction line with some support underneath. So it's just a matter of time, guys. Look at FUU, F3 Uranium. Okay, we're underneath that transaction line, but we want to maybe hold this trend line. We want to see this become a trend line and maybe form an ascending triangle of some sort. And again, looks super explosive. You know, as long as we can break above and close above 54 cents. Alaska. You see I got my target up here. See if that comes to fruition or not. But again, we want to close this month up. We want to get a wick on this monthly candle, get above 62 cents. And then lastly, AEC up 15% today. You know, it's a penny stock right now, but again, AEC could be a huge stock for us. If this, especially when we pull up its comparison versus CCJ. I mean, if we can break out versus CCJ, this one can run pretty quick. So moral of the story, guys, I'll drop back into the weekly for URA. Look at that. Look at those colors. Flash colors, baby. We're on support. Closing, we're midweek here. Or it's Tuesday. We're not midweek quite yet, but this is looking good so far on the weekly. Okay, it's going to be a long time up. If you guys found some value out of this, not sure if this is an indicator I'm going to stick with, because we can find our support and resistance with the price itself, but again, gives us confidence that in some of these tickers, we are above where the hard part's over for a lot of these. And we just got to continue eating through these transactions, building energy, building momentum up, riding this arc up, and enjoying this equity bull market. Talk to you guys in the next one.